Hi guys, and thanks for coming to this talk. I'd like to firstly give thanks to the organisers for organising this session to speak about issues such as inclusivity, diversity, equity and access, which are certainly becoming more highlighted and the importance of which is becoming more understood in this day and age. So I'm here to talk today about the IDEA initiative that is launched by the Society for Molecular Biology and Evolution, or the SMBE IDEA initiative. And my name is Ravinder Kanda. So I'm sure that many people have covered this before, why we need to consider things like inclusivity, diversity, equity, and access. And there's many reasons why we would want to do this and why we actually need to do this. If we consider when you've got a group of people or a group of individuals who have a very similar background or a very similar perspective, then things can sometimes get missed, and diversity can really help in this instance. So I'm sure many of you will have seen this figure before, whereby a light is being shone upon an object, and based on the reflection that you're seeing on the wall, it might lead an individual to conclude that the object that is being highlighted is either a sphere or a disc or something as simple as that. But if we were to add another perspective here and shine a light from a different angle, then we can see that we've got a square that's being projected on the wall, which lets us know that our first perspective and our first opinion of this being a disc or a ball was clearly incorrect, and that in all likelihood, the object is more likely to be a cylinder. Now, this is a very simplified example, and in all of these cases, each perspective is true. But it's only by encompassing multiple perspectives that we can actually get to the real truth about what it is that we're looking at. Something that is really important in science, where the concepts and the ideas and the kinds of questions that we're trying to tackle really are quite detailed and intricate, and do require that diversity of expertise and background knowledge as well. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that in science it's a little bit more complicated, that it actually looks like this. But let's not dwell on that too much. So, it's been recognized for many years that there is an issue with retaining diverse groups of individuals in science, be this from women in science who obviously face different barriers to many other different groups as well. So, for example, some of these barriers may relate to issues such as gender or sexual orientation or socioeconomic status or even career stages. To list just a few there on the screen. And there's been a number of articles that have come out over the years trying to address this and trying to get down to the bottom of this cause. And it is very much a mixed bag somewhat. But the one thing that is becoming more apparent and more prevalent is that we do need to do something to improve inclusivity, diversity, equity, and access in science. And it's not just improving these things individually either. You need to think about the interplay between these different concepts that is being represented here. Many individuals, for example, in this bottom tweet, which is a tweet that came out not that long ago on Twitter, end of August, which highlighted that there is still a lot of resistance, that, you know, just improving diversity is going to end up compromising excellent, which is not really the way that things work in this respect. You can't have diversity without inclusion. Of course, if you've got diversity, you need to get inclusion as well to make sure that the diversity is working for you. Otherwise, yes, you're going to end up with just a limited pool of individuals whose viewpoints are being expressed, and you're back to square one where you started. So it's not as easy as just saying, right, we need to tackle each one of these things individually. It is a complicated interplay between these different ideas. Now, not just that, for the next generation of scientists that are coming up and the next generation in any field, it's also important for them to be able to look up and see similar role models from their kinds of backgrounds and individuals that would inspire them and have been through similar backgrounds and experiences and this kind of thing. So there's a huge need for inclusivity, diversity, equity, and access across the whole of science. Now, I'm fortunate enough to be involved with the Society for Molecular Biology and Evolution and their IDEA initiative. So SMBE has been quite forward-thinking in this respect. It was the first society to introduce childcare awards, now labelled the Carer Awards, back in 2014. And this has proved to be very popular. It was a blanket one-off payment to help individuals to attend the conference that otherwise they may not have been able to due to childcare duties or responsibilities, which has now been expanded to include any kind of caring, whether that be for a relative or a partner or a child in that way. And SMBE has a strong commitment to improving IDEA issues within the society and also within the field of molecular biology and evolution. And the IDEA initiative was launched this year, earlier, after quite a bit of conversation about this for a couple of years, about things that could be done to improve inclusivity, diversity, equity, and access. So the goals of the society are to basically broaden recruitment and retention across groups that have been historically underrepresented or minoritized in these fields. And one of the ways in which we're looking to do this is by increasing the participation of scientists from a diverse range of backgrounds, and whether that includes gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, whatever. Within the fields of molecular biology and evolution, all are welcome. The idea is to remove barriers so that everybody feels that they can participate in the society's activities, and to also create a more welcoming community that will serve and better benefit all of its members. So how exactly do we do that? Well, it's a relatively new initiative that started up this year, so we are still feeling our way here. But a few of the things that we currently have going is that we are running surveys amongst the members to try and better understand what the priorities and barriers may be and be receptive to ideas and suggestions. And based on the back of this, we then investigate and discuss possibilities and make recommendations to the SMBE Council for things that will potentially improve IDEA within molecular biology and evolution. One of the big things that the Society is doing, though, is they have guaranteed to put forward $25,000 each year to support initiatives that help improve IDEA within SMBE and within the MBE field generally. So I've put a few details there about our annual call for IDEA proposals. It's a two-stage process. It's not a very onerous application. We usually have a pre-proposal call, which is quite short, which usually happens in late spring. And once we have all of these in, then we pre-select a few proposals that we think are quite strong, that would have the most benefit to the members and have the most reach as well. And these invited proposals are invited to submit a full costing for the full funding of the $25,000. Now, to be able to apply for this, you do need to be a member of SMBE, but that is remarkably cheap these days. So yes, please do check out the website if it's something that you're interested in hearing more about. Okay, so thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully the point of my talk was that SMBE is committed to improving inclusivity, diversity, equity, and access within the field of molecular biology and evolution, and within science in general, more widely as well. We do have a website. I've put a screenshot up there on the screen, and you should be able to find everything that I've spoken about today under the IDEA Initiatives tab. We also have an email address and a Twitter account if you would like to follow us on there. And if you have any suggestions or any questions or any feedback whatsoever, please do feel free to get in touch. We have a feedback form on the website, or you can drop us an email or a tweet. Well, I'm happy to take any questions here. Thank you.